and my Satan character. So in the prologue of Beauty Restored, it was kind of an interesting thing because when I was first writing Beauty Restored, I didn't have the prologue at first, and I didn't have it actually for quite a while. And it was kind of an afterthought. And when I wrote it, I was like, yeah, that works. And that totally introduces like the character of Luscian, who is my Satan character, and kind of his role in the story and different things. But it, like I said, it wasn't originally supposed to be in there. And so it's definitely kind of a brilliant afterthought, I guess, putting that in there. And in the prologue, it's kind of an interesting thing because I refer to the different characters as these different orbs, and there's different colored orbs that Lucian is interacting with Archimedes, and each of the orbs represents one of the main characters from the first 3 books. And you see this silvery orb, which is Ariana, and you see this orange orb, which turns out to be Amber in the 3rd book. And then you also have this sunrise colored orb that's like a pink yellow orb that ends up being Juliana in the 2nd book. But going back to the original story that kind of inspired this with the sacred romance and the idea of Satan falling in his beauty, so kind of really influenced my character of Lucian. So Satan is referred to as Lucifer in the Bible, and you read the story where Lucifer was the most beautiful of all the creatures, and his pride to be greater and more beautiful than God and more powerful than God really impacted him, and he tried to get other angels to come on board with him and kind of do a takeover, of God and his rule over the earth. And because of that, he fell, and he was a fallen angel, and he was destined to roam the earth, and kind of having this idea that Satan was beautiful. And so Lucian was a beautiful, beautiful star in the beginning. And you kind of find that out in my little creation story of the realms in Beauty Restored. And he fell because he wanted to be more powerful than the Great Mage. And I gave him the name Luscian because it's kind of a nod to Lucifer. Luscian does mean light. And so Satan is referred to as an angel of light, and he's very deceitful, and he's able to look very appealing and beautiful and lure people in, and then he turns on them. In creating Luscian, I just wanted to kind of portray different aspects of him that maybe we don't see in Satan. And when I was reading that book about the sacred romance and Satan falling in his beauty, and kind of how he has this vendetta against beauty now, and how he wants to destroy it and just kind of destroy it every way he can, I kind of got this idea that Satan was beautiful. And so he knew what true beauty was. He knew what it was to be the most beautiful creature on the earth and in the heavens. And when he fell, he lost that beauty. And so ultimately, his beauty was also lost, if you think about it. And so now he can't stand to see beautiful things. And so it is like his personal vengeance in life to destroy all the beauty. And you kind of see this in Luscian, especially in the 2nd book. You see more of him in the 2nd book, and you'll see more of him in the 4th book as well. But he just kind of has this like anger and vengeance against beauty in all the realms, and he can't stand to be in the mage's realm because it is just so bright and it's so full of light and beauty and different things. And so it's just kind of this interesting story and twist to him. And I just kind of felt like, even though he hates it because he knows what true beauty was at one point in his life, he still has that desire for beauty. And so I kind of wanted to pull that out in the 2nd book, especially, where he still has a desire for beauty, and he still desires to have that beauty in his realm. And that's why he tries to tempt Juliana into coming into his realm. He can see her potential for darkness, but he also sees her beauty, and that's what draws him to her. And so it's kind of just this fight for him and battle for him, where he would never admit that he loves beauty still, but I think he does. He was beautiful. He was the most beautiful creature ever created, and he lost that beauty, and he is never going to get that back. we as humans, at least if we believe in God and when we get to heaven, we'll be whole and we'll be perfect and we'll be so beautiful. And Satan can't ever get that back. So I think there's kind of just that pull in him that he knows he lost it. And unfortunately for him, he's never going to get that back. And so that's why he's so angry against things that are beautiful in the earth. And that's why he attacks it all the time and is in a full force, like war mode against anything that's beautiful or reflects God's beauty. And so I just really wanted to incorporate that into my Satan character in Luscian and just kind of pull in all that evil and just how he twists things around. And you'll see many times where he plays on people's desires and their wants, and he plays on their fears to get them to do what he wants them to do. And I feel like that's kind of how Satan is. You know, Satan draws us in, he tempts us, he puts us down, he makes us believe things that aren't true about us, or he plays on our desires and pushes us to pursue those desires over anything that God would have for us. And so it's been interesting developing his character, and I hope you kind of see a different side to Satan than maybe you would normally see.